between November of 2016 and September of 2017, I had two periods of time where I was pretty convinced I was going to close this business. I've mentioned things like this before. I've mentioned getting close, being so uncertain that maybe that was in the future. But in these two particular instances, y'all, you didn't know. I was a week, 2 weeks away from saying this is over. This is over. Stop the payments, refund the money, and just be done. And my team didn't know. I had some close to me. I had one close to me. I was in a relationship at the time. And she was pretty well aware. But I bring this up because in that darkness, I sought counsel. I tried to find guidance. And what I was looking for was hope. I was just looking for just a, hey man, you're doing a good job. And not a, hey man, you're doing a good job from the outside. Not a, hey, it looks great. Hey, the Instagram account looks great. Hey, the Facebook profiles, the reviews, or all this bullshit. That's great. Because none of that meant anything. None of that was paying my bills. Okay? People have a lot of thoughts about how things appear from the outside, and they have no idea what you're struggling with on the inside. They have no idea what the reality of the business is, and that's not their fault. They are not at fault there. They genuinely mean well, but that does not give you comfort. What you want is for those that are closest to you, those that you have brought in, that you have done anything you could for them. You want them to say, you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. I see what you're looking to accomplish. I see the steps you're taking, and I'm here to say that you are taking those steps and that I see that progress made. But what happens when they're not willing to say that? What happens when their advice is you should quit? Their advice is you should accept the status quo. You should go to where society would have you go. You should not expect more of this life. You should not take the steps to do what you know you are here to do. I have been told multiple times in the last 7 years that I can't do this. That I can't. I don't know. It's hard to say, seeing as how it's been done at 3 different gyms now over 7 years. But what's funny is every time I've exited one, the advice from those people is you'll never do it again. And that's different because they weren't close to me. That was fuel for the fire. That wasn't heartbreaking to hear. It was exciting to hear. But then when a close friend of mine says, hey, the solutions to all your problems are to raise the prices on your current members because then you'll pay your bills. Or the advice of the girlfriend was, hey, the solutions to all your problems are to raise the prices on your current members so you can pay the bills. Side note, you can also just quit. That doesn't sit well. That's a shortcut. What I knew to be true, no matter how desperate I was, no matter how much it hurt me to not understand why this wasn't working. I woke up every day and all I wanted was for my people to love the experience they had inside this building or inside the building we were previously in. That is genuinely all I ever wanted. However, because of where I was at, I was not able to convey the experience I wanted them to experience. Therefore, they could not have that experience. And I was surrounding myself apparently with people that wanted me to take shortcuts and therefore were not breathing life into me. And is it any sort of surprise that darkness fell over this place like a cloud last year? The end of 2017 was a very dark time in this gym. People continued to get better. People got stronger. People got faster. The workouts were still good. It's not hard for us. We write great workouts. Awesome. The energy wasn't there. The energy wasn't there. We'd still have visitors come in, and man, we were better than the last place they were at. Doesn't mean a lot, though. Because we weren't better than where we should be. We weren't better than what we could be doing. And that's what would have been the compliment. So I guess I'm saying all of this because I want you to understand that the people in your life matter. And I am all for family. I think family's great. I am all for close friends. And I am all for peers in your industry that are there to help. What I am for more than any of that is for you to constantly be assessing the value of those relationships. Never take anything for granted. Now, understand something. That goes both ways. Don't take family for granted. Don't assume they will always be there. Make sure you're there to love them. Make sure you're there to support them. Absolutely. If you have long-lasting friendships, it's because you're putting work in. It's because they're putting work in. Do not take that for granted. Do not take for granted peers in your industry who are willing to meet with you, who are willing to help you, to assist you, to share with you. Okay? But I think we know that assessment. I think we know that we need to not take it for granted, and we need to always be working to maintain. Be willing to alter the relationship as it continues to no longer serve you well. It is not enough that someone is in your industry, that they get to speak negativity into your life. It is not enough that someone lives in your home with you, that they get to speak negativity in your life and lack belief in you and not serve to give you hope that you are working towards a brighter future for not only yourself, but the 150 athletes that choose to work out in your facility. It is my responsibility to understand who I keep close to me. It is not their responsibility. It is my responsibility to weigh and measure every piece of advice they give me. And it is my responsibility to find hope in this life. And I can do that through others. But I have to do that by constantly curating those that I surround myself with. Do not allow anyone in your life to blot out the hope. If you leave a conversation with your mother and there is no light at the end of the tunnel, then maybe we don't speak to her for a while. If you leave a conversation with your BFF and you come out full of anxiety, then maybe we take a break. If you leave a conversation with someone in your industry and they fail to give you an uplifting word of encouragement, maybe we don't meet with them for a while. Quit accepting negativity. Quit allowing others to have influence on the optimism with which you live. If you are doing good work with a good heart, then you are on the right path, and it is as simple as that. So take that with you today. What I am working on is being grateful that those that were breathing so much negativity in my life are no longer in my life. And I am incredibly grateful that I now have people in my life that are uplifting, that call attention to the progress that is being made. And that is what I want for you. And what's mind-boggling is that if you desperately can't find anybody, I bet you can call me, and I bet you can tell me your story in a minute. And within that minute, I could find progress that you've made, that I could praise you for, that I can encourage you for. So why can't they? It's a question, right? Quit accepting negativity from those that you call family, from those that you call close. Quit it. This life happens once. Once. We are here once. You are not trapped in the job you have right now. You are not trapped in the relationship you're in right now. You are not trapped in anything you do not want to be in. Okay? If you are unhappy, we make a change. That's it. If you're unhappy, we make a change. It doesn't have to be a drastic change. Maybe you keep the job that you currently have even though you're unhappy in it, and you find the pursuit outside of the work hours that allows you to find your joy. So that job facilitates your joy because that job pays you, and the joy is where you enjoy life. Maybe that's it. Or maybe you quit. Because you can literally do anything. You can do anything you want. It is 2018. The internet has given us access to the entire world. Do not limit yourself. Okay. Thank you for listening. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm going to chop this up a little bit. I stared at this mic for like 12 minutes before I started recording. I'll make something of it. I hope you guys have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous rest of your day. Goodbye.